Hi, welcome everyone to Girl with the Satchel, and you're looking at Girl with the Satchel's new beauty spot. Today we're going to have a look at some of the basic things that women ask about in beauty, and one of those is getting your base right and doing a nice, simple but classic eye. So we're going to get started, and today we have Kate as our model.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so you want to start off with a really nice clean base, and before you have that you need to have nice clean exfoliated skin, which Kate has. Before we put on any foundation, we're a big fan of the primer here. So primer is just going to help your foundation to go on a little bit longer and keep your skin nice and protected. So primer should go on forehead, nose and both your cheeks and on your chin, and then you just spread it out. But you don't need very much. The key here is less is more. So we have that sorted. So girls, with your foundation, same rule as your primer, nose, your cheeks, forehead and chin, and remember less is more. And what you want to do is, because people actually see this front area as the primary area of the face, they don't look at the hairline so much or the jaw, so you want to focus it just in that T section of the face and just a little bit on the chin and just blend out. So most of your coverage is right in the centre and then blending out. I'll just note too that the reason we're using a brush, so it just helps you control the coverage. It's a lot more hygienic than a sponge, and it just helps keep the pressure and the coverage nice and even, a lot more than your fingers would. Okay, so now we can go into powder if you want to. I always say powder is optional, and try not to use powder if you can. It does leave that dust and film over the face. We want to try and avoid that as much as possible. A lot of foundations these days don't need to have powder on them either. One really important thing though is the concealer. So under Kate's eyes we're going to put concealer on, and concealer should always be a lot lighter than your foundation. We want it to lighten the eyes and lift them up. If we ever try and do any kind of eye makeup without concealer, what happens is the eye can look really unprepared and messy, like you've been wearing your makeup all night long. So it's really important to get that concealer nice and neat. So we'll just do that on Kate quickly. And what we'll do with Kate is choose a nice pink base concealer, and that pink base will actually lighten the whole eye. So really important with the concealer to choose a nice thick concealer as well. A lot thicker than your foundation, but it will have that staying power as well that we want. So with the concealer, we'll just start in the inner corner of the eye, and we blend out to the corner there. So you really want a perfect match with concealer. Nothing worse than a mark under the eyes that's either too dark, you look like you've been punched, and too light looks a little bit frightening. So you can already see the difference there in one eye to the other. One looks very well groomed and the skin looks tidy and healthy, and the other one's good, but we're just going to pick it up for night time. There. So Illuminator goes on in the 3. We go across the forehead, cheek and nose and jaw, but very sparingly with Illuminator. We don't want to be glowing too much. So you can just get your turncake. Just under the eyes here is a really crucial area. Just catching that light at night time or any time really just gives the face a really sculpted, beautiful look. Okay, take a little bit of the Illuminator just onto the chest as well. Most of the time we do have a dress on that shows a little bit of décolletage. Splendid. So that's our first lesson of getting a nice base, and our base will set our makeup and set the tone for anything else we do. The next thing we're going to do in our next installment for Girl with a Satchel will be eyes.